Hey everyone, right now we're in New Hampshire and we're crossing over this bridge over the Connecticut River, and now we are in Vermont. Today we are going to camp at the abandoned Lyndonville radar base on the top of East Mountain. This abandoned radar base is from the Cold War era, which at one point had almost 200 people living at it. It's got its own cafeteria building, huge. It has a gymnasium that's still kind of intact, a bunch of housing buildings, a bunch of generator buildings, heating buildings. It had steam tunnels. It had central heating systems going around the whole complex. There's tons of old diesel tanks all over the place to run generators. It was completely off-grid. It's pretty interesting. There's apple trees all over the complex that are still alive, producing apples. We'll explore that a little bit. Then we're going to head up a very treacherous mountain auto road going up top. They have tried to block it off multiple times in the past to stop people from going up it, but with an off-road vehicle you can kind of get around everything pretty easily. There's abandoned tanks in the middle of the road that they left there to try to discourage people, but people made roads going around it. It was in pretty bad shape, a water crossing last year. Beavers were making the water deep. Hopefully we can drive through it this year, and when we get to the top we'll explore the buildings a little bit. When we arrive on site, we're only going to have about 2 hours of daylight to find a place to camp, and I'm hoping it's not too windy up there. I'm hoping we get a beautiful sunset. There's a good amount of clouds and sunshine. We might get a beautiful sunset, or we might be up in the clouds since we have to drop up a mountain. I'm hoping we can get some beautiful views of all the fall foliage. It's already looking beautiful. It is September 30th. Tomorrow, I believe, is the 1st. Got some beautiful fall foliage over in the mountains, beautiful cornfields. All these mountains around here, they're gonna just get brighter and brighter. Peak color in this area is gonna be around the second week of October. But hopefully we got some good colors to see from the top of the mountain. Today I was actually gonna go camping on top of Mount Washington, but the weather didn't look great, and I was already really packed up for camping, so I decided to go here because I've been wanting to do this for a while, and this is only about another 90-minute drive further out. You know, I did forget one thing today, but I was already driving out far enough that I didn't want to drive back to my house and get it because we would have probably got here after dark. We wouldn't have had time. I did forget a jacket. It's supposed to be 36 degrees tonight up on the mountain, but that's okay. In the back of the truck, I have a whole bunch of blankets. I'll just layer up tonight. And if I'm actively walking around, that temperature shouldn't bother me. But we are at the top of a mountain, and every time I've been here, it's been severely windy. So this is the kind of thing we're going to have to really secure the tent. I didn't want to bring any of my big tents because I'm afraid of them blowing away. So I got the smallest tent I could find, just a one-man tent. And we just hit dirt roads. There's no more pavement on the way here. We're still about 40 minutes out. Maybe now that we're gaining elevation in the mountains, it'll get more beautiful, the tree color, because it's typically colder up here. This guy in front of me is starting to kick up some good dust. This is looking really pretty here. Hopefully we don't have company today. That car let me pass and they got Connecticut plates. They're not from around here. They're probably just leaf peepers looking out all the fall colors, but that guy's not making it up the mountain with that car. So I purposely chose to do this on a Monday night, hoping there won't be any more campers there, because abandoned places like this are already filled with kids and stuff, spray painting if you do this on a weekend. So it's good to choose a weekday when there's not many people around to do camps in these abandoned places. This road's absolutely beautiful. It also helps that the weather's going to be colder. No one else will probably be camping there. It's not the best time of the year, honestly, for this type of thing. But I don't really mind the cold. I'll rough it. Oh wow, the color here on these hills is fabulous. Can't wait until we're up in the clouds on the mountain. Awesome. Got another 6.5 miles on this dirt road before it starts to get extremely bad when we turn onto the basis road. Wow, the fall colors here are gorgeous, and they're only going to get better in the coming weeks. All right, everyone, we just turned on to Radar Road. Now, this road is going to slowly deteriorate more and more over the course of another 8 miles. So right here, this is an active logging road. It's in fairly good shape, but eventually we're going to get up to where they're no longer logging. Once we're on the basis property, you're going to see the old town we're going to stop at. Take a look around there for a little bit. I have older videos in detail of all the buildings. We spent a lot of time searching all the different buildings. We'll do some of that today. This road is extremely beautiful. Take a look at this. I'm backing up to show you this. So right here, the logging company has blocked off this road with a mound of dirt. But if you look up there, look at the heavy, heavy erosion. Hopefully from all the rain earlier in the year, the road going to the base is all right, because it was in already nearly impassable shape last year. And right here we have a nice scenic bridge. This area is still being maintained by the logging companies. Fall colors are turning out to be really beautiful up here. This road is all uphill, higher and higher elevation the more we drive. Still have almost 6 miles left to go. Can you see that beautiful river right next to us? That's called the Moose River, and it's following this windy road. Right here we're totally seeing some erosion damage from the heavy rains earlier in the year. Pretty rough. This was all washed out and they had to fix it. You can tell the vast majority of the logging traffic is going to the left. Some of it's coming here to the right. But this road looks like it's taking a turn now for the worst. Right there's a little bridge. If I would have gone left, that's a yard where they keep a lot of logging equipment. You can see how rocky the road is. The heavy rains, surges of water removed all the dirt and soil, which makes it smooth. It just left all the rocks behind. It looks like everyone is starting to drive up on the shoulder now to avoid all these huge ruts. Still not that bad, but here we go. I gotta drive through some of them. Right now we're experiencing a lot of erosion on the roadway now. I'm sure my camera's stabilization is making it look not as bad as it actually is. But this is a pretty rough section of road here. You can tell this was rapids going down here at some point earlier in the year. Extremely rough road we're passing through right now. Whoa. Thankfully the vehicle can keep up with this. Could be worse. We're at a section of road now no one's fixing anymore. This is only open by people coming up here. Ba-boom. All right, everyone, right here in this logging clearing, look at this. If we zoom in, that's where we're going for the night. there's the radar towers up top. Awesome. This is another one of their logging sites. By the look of it, this was probably logged last year or so. No trees growing back yet, just weeds and grass. Now we're about to enter town. You'll notice we now have asphalt. The road is now paved, so it wouldn't be dusty driving through their old military town. Kept dust down with pavement. You see there's a power pole right there in the middle of the road. We're gonna park for just a little while, and I'll bring you guys through these buildings real briefly, show you around, then we'll head up to the top and camp. Got some power poles. So we were out here last year. This collapsed since last year. I wonder if kids with sledgehammers had anything to do with this. This was one of the old generating buildings. This collapsed. This was standing last year. We actually walked inside there. The roof came down. Wow. Right here's the old automotive building. Here's the pit to get underneath and work on vehicles, oil changes and stuff. Over here was the cafeteria building. Take a look at this awesome boiler here. Nice. Lots of asbestos too. This place looks even more vandalized than it did last year. Like, this looks pretty fresh, this burntness. This building was already burnt, yes, but it looks way, way worse. This is more scrapped, more vandalized than it was a year ago. 100%. All these foundations you see were old housing buildings. Last year we came here, there was a good amount of apples. I see a few still. Look at that. Wonder if they're rotten now. These housing buildings are still intact. The ones that are missing were just completely scrapped over the years by people. There is someone around. I see a truck over there. Don't know if we'll run into anyone or not. Still got these buildings intact. Here's another housing building right here. Here's some fire pits. A lot more apples up in this tree. Look at that. This building over here, the most overgrown, far away one, is the gym. Ooh, those apples, I can smell them. They're strong. Smells good. Then there's these tanks all over the place for diesel, completely off-grid for power heating. You can see the marks on the ground of where all the sticky tiles used to be. All right, here's the gym. You can see at one point they sealed up all the windows with that metal. Amazingly, that's not stolen too. Look at all the sheetrock. There's the gym. Pretty small gym. Down here is the building's boiler. Got some locker rooms too. Here's the boiler. Must be thinking of a different building. This place is very well known, and that's the reason this building is so destroyed. Too many people know about its existence. That's why when I find abandoned buildings that don't appear to be on YouTube anywhere else, I never disclose their locations, because I've seen what happens when new places get discovered. I can't believe how much vandalism and outright buildings have just fallen down in the past year, and I think it was intentional. This entire part of the building you see right there, That was there last year. It's gone without a trace. It looks like someone else set fire to it. This is really eerie. In these buildings, I shouted, "Hello, anyone there?" No response. But there's someone else's truck here. Maybe they just parked here and went up the mountain. Back in the truck. It gives me a very eerie feeling how this place has changed a lot in just a year. A lot more theft, a lot more vandalism. It's very sad. And these days, this price of steel scrap isn't worth much of anything. So I don't know why people are even bothering driving this far out, taking the risk for such little reward. Doesn't make much sense to me. And if you look right here, can you see that? You can see where we're going up there. See the buildings up on the top? Yep. So I didn't see anyone here. Maybe whoever it is hiding or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll see them walking, or maybe we'll have company camping up there. This guy left no space. I'm not scratching up my vehicle. All right, we're back on the main road. Now the whole road is paved, going all the way up, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you saw what's on the back of that guy's truck, but I think he's hunting out here somewhere. Has like a hoist for a deer in the back of it. This part of the road was very flooded last time we came. Not too much water now. Hasn't been raining that much in the past month or so. Now there's power lines going all the way up the mountain. Top of the mountain has generators and stuff, boilers, but I feel like the main power source was down here with power lines going all the way up. And here we are, the last logging road taking a left. Now this is completely abandoned. Nobody comes up here, except there's a couple cars there, which isn't a good sign. They're cars that can't make it up here. This part of the road is very wet. Not in the best of shape. I think we can drive all the way up. So this right here is a barricade intentionally put here to try to stop people from driving up the mountain. Look at this gigantic, like 10,000 gallon tank in the middle of the road. Oh yeah, we gotta get out and evaluate. This is so much worse than it was last year. I gotta see if I even feel safe driving around this. Those are abandoned power lines. Still got the old guardrail. So I just want to make sure I feel safe going through here. I knew these beavers were going to be a problem. Take a look at the beautiful trees though. That's nice. I see other tracks, which is a good sign, although it looks like someone stopped and didn't continue into it. Massive tank. This looks a lot more used than it was a year ago. Look at this thing, huge. Not very deep. I'm willing to go around that. Hopefully we don't encounter another vehicle coming back down, because someone's gonna have to back up far and there's not many spaces for that. It's an entire paved auto road going up. All right, we're trying this. We're going through. Boom, 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 down into the beaver pond. All right, not too deep, not too deep. All good. Despite the water being deeper, this seems smoother than it was last year. Looks like heavy volume of people have been going up here this year. Still, there's no trespassing signs or anything, so we're good. Now this is very narrow. This is a paint scraper for any truck coming up here. Here's a little pull off, but there's not many of those, so hopefully we don't encounter anyone trying to leave the place as we're coming up. because I do have a feeling there's going to be at least a couple people up here. It's a very nice day, but hopefully no one's here for the overnight, because that'd be really cool to explore this place all alone at night. Here we have some heavy erosion from the rain. We have another little turnoff, which is good. I think towards the top there's less and less turnoffs. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Is the road clear? Going up?
We just went up just a little ways and turned around.
Alrighty.
Wasn't much action going on, so we decided to go down more.
Alright.
So sorry about that, but I'm sure it is.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I think the worst part is the one you went through right there.
Alright.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
yeah,
Have a good one. Alright, so I think the people we just saw there are the ones who probably are at the bottom hunting. Yep. I knew someone was hunting when I saw that hoist on the back of the truck. Now as we go up, this road is getting steeper and steeper. And up here, it's all evergreen trees, which is cool. It's very dense. I remember last year talking about how healthy, beautiful looking the trees were up here at the summit. The map is saying I have another 1.5 miles until the top. For 6 decades being abandoned, I can't believe how good of shape this road is in. There's no potholes, there's really not much of anything, and this is on the top of a mountain with frost heaving and stuff. This road was built amazingly. Look at the moss taking over the other lane of the road. It's beautiful. It's like a hedge we're driving through. This forest is so pretty looking. Just amazing. Now, down bottom I showed there wasn't any other tire tracks going into that mud. Now they may have been covered up by the splash of actually going through the water. We don't know that. So this place up top, we're gonna search all the buildings before we set up camp. We're gonna figure out where we want to set up camp. We still got over 2 hours of daylight. Up here we probably have 3 hours of daylight because the sun's not gonna set as fast. There's nothing blocking really the sun up at the top of a mountain. We got a little bit of erosion here, but this road is in stellar shape. Look how steep it is, and there's barely any damage. Look how dark it is here. It's like a tunnel. It's like a hedge. This is gorgeous. This is just an amazing road. Wow. Okay, we're gonna be up there within a minute. I see it on the map already. So right here, there's a little road. Maybe we'll walk down to this building later. So if you pull in here, there is a building which just has a bunch of switches and electrical boards and panels in it. It also has a little heating system of itself. Not really sure what that is, but all the amazing buildings are up top here. Some of them are completely scrapped, burned down, rusted out. They're all in very bad shape, but 2 of them are very structural as far as climbing up inside them. Other ones are just extreme hazards to anybody going into them. But we'll take you through them all. Now I gotta be careful. When I was up here last year, I got out of the truck and realized, oh my gosh, I just parked in 1,000 nails. Thankfully, none of them were sticking up. It's like someone dragged a bunch of wood out of the building and just lit it on fire. Studs and stuff full of nails. You can see someone did burnouts here. I'm gonna drive the truck down around the base as much as I can, look for other vehicles and stuff. But that's the tallest building there, probably the equivalent of a 5-6 story building. Maybe we could camp up there. I don't see any trees blowing around. It doesn't look to be very windy today, which is awesome. Look at this gigantic, probably 20,000 gallon fuel tank right there. Huge thing. I'm just driving around at the moment looking for other vehicles. Now the road starts to go down the other side. There's a bunch more buildings right here. This one to my right is extremely hazardous. The second one down here to my right is actually very nice. It is. Just searching the place for other vehicles. There was someone else parked at the bottom of the mountain, so there could be someone else up here. There is likely someone else up here in these buildings. We passed the people that were hunting, so now we're just looking for one other party of people, and we don't even know if they're up here. They could be doing something totally different. Right here's a whole nother building. More fuel tanks covered in bullet holes and stuff. Now I gotta try to figure out, is there enough room to back up without completely scratching up the truck? I'm trying my best. Thankfully, I'm kind of tired, so as soon as the sun goes down, I should have no problem sleeping here. I brought a bunch of ropes. Even though it's not windy, I want to still tie my tent off. Even though I don't think it would blow away with me. It would wake me up, I think, before the wind got that strong. But just as a precaution, there could be a random gust of wind. We are up on the top of a mountain. So I'm going to find a place to park the truck. I got to be very mindful of sharp metal in the road. I know there's a lot of nails in the road. And where am I going to park for the truck for the night? Maybe back here behind this building, because I hopefully want to camp on the top of the biggest one. Other campers are such pigs. Oh my gosh. The amount of junk people leave here. I think I'm going to park right here for the night. Just got to be very careful of what I'm driving over. There's broken glass everywhere, but I don't think that's really going to puncture my tires. They're made for off-road and all kinds of running over BS like that. We'll do a lot of exploring once it gets completely dark, when it's nice and scary. Alright, let's get out and have a look. Alright, this place is eerie. In the sunshine I can hear these pieces of metal shrinking now that the sun just moved off them. Creepy noises. And I can hear someone up here. There is someone up here somewhere. Look how they welded this stuff off, because they didn't want people coming in here years ago. But obviously, someone cut it with a torch. Someone was target practicing very recently. Those shells are so fresh. I'm gonna go up to the top of the biggest tower and have ourselves a look at our perimeter. Now this building is one of the very structural, strong ones. Very cold up here, lots of concrete and metal. Now we go up another flight. The staircase is getting kind of scary. Not too much light getting in here. Pretty terrifying. All you can see is holes of where people shot through the building. Still climbing up the dark staircase. Almost completely unable to see. Finally, some light. Now this is scary. It's just a thin metal floor. There's the freight elevator. Massive exhaust fan. Oh wow. The view is amazing, and we're not even to the top yet. Wow. Breathtaking views. There's that massive tank downstairs we saw. This building, you see, people have just stolen all the metal roofing. What the mountains? That's beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at this side. Breathtaking views. Oh wow, look at that. Look how vibrant some of these mountains are of color. There's lakes over there in the distance. So beautiful. This is a scary way up to the top, but there's a much safer alternative over here. So I'll be out of breath going up that with some of my heavy backpacks, but it's all right. Look what other campers do that party on the roof. That's why camping sometimes is so hated by the owners of these buildings. People trash them. They don't carry anything out. It's such a shame. All right, I'm up on the roof. Now there's someone here somewhere. Don't know where. But I heard voices. That's the other building that is very stable. Also a good option for camping. This one right next to us is a complete wreck inside. Very hazardous to walk around because you saw those thin metal floors in this building. Well, those other buildings, the metal floors are very compromised and you can fall through them if you're not walking on the beams. Up here, there's also hatches all over the roof that you could accidentally fall into. These views are amazing. The mountains are orange as far as the eye can see. Look at that. 360-degree view of mountains. There's a little bit of haze, yes, but I think we'll have a beautiful sunset in another 2 or 3 hours. Nice. I hear a lot of vultures. Oh, there they are. Hear a lot of squawking. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm getting a headlamp on for this next time. After coming off the roof in the sunlight, coming in here is just, oh my gosh, you're just blinded. It's so dark, your eyes take so long to adjust. Going up was good because it gets darker and darker, but at the top, you're just walking into a dark hallway all at once. No time at all for your eyes to adjust. Good thing I'm very tired, but I hope the energy drink I had 2 hours ago doesn't decide to kick in right when I start sleeping. All right, back down to ground level. Here's some scary holes. I don't know if this is maybe a septic clean out is kind of what it looks like to me down there. We'll do some exploring before it gets dark in the next couple hours, but first I want to get my tent set up pronto. Here's a nice area. It looks like they were shielding the wind to have a campfire, but look at this. This is all new garbage. Everywhere. Just junk all over in the trees. Plastic, just junk. People have no respect to take out any of their garbage. Those guys asked me how I got up here. They were surprised that I took the ride through the water down there. You can walk in here, but you got to make sure you're walking where the beams are. See how rusted out it is? This looks like an old spaceship. But since my last trip out here, noticeably there's a lot of things missing. I am struggling to even close my backpack with all the stuff I'm bringing. I got a little cooktop. I got a blanket, a tent. I got my sleeping pad right here on the ground behind me. It won't fit in here. I thought because it's only a hike up a staircase that I would bring a really good pad instead of what I usually bring backpacking. It's good to have a good night of sleep. Totally. All right, this is all set. And I can't find my rope, but I have a whole bunch of new bungee cords that were in the truck. We'll rip these open and hopefully tie around something. I want to get the tent set up immediately, get it tied down nicely, put heavy things in it. I'll probably find rocks and stuff I can put in it up there. The wind is starting to pick up at the worst time. So I'm going to try to do this all in one big trip. Of course, there's things I'm going to come back down for. I got some flashlights, other small stuff, but we can basically set it up right now. Got bear spray just in case. Don't ever use bear spray in a building with wind, because in the heat of the moment, if you spray that and you don't know which way the wind's blowing, you're going to get attacked by a bear while your eyes and lungs are burning. You don't want to use this in the wind. That's a last resort. Definitely not. In that situation, you'd want to have a bear gun. Oh, wow. With a big backpack and things in your arms, this staircase is awful. It's so tight. This is not good. I'm so tired now. Come on, backpack, you can fit. Come on. No! No! I can't fit through the hole! Ah! Ah! Oh, we got it. That's a tough hole to get through. I'm huffing and puffing. It's nice. There's just a gradual breeze. Perfect for cooling myself down. The best place to set up camp, I guess, is right next to the hole, right next to the ladder, because we got this, we got that, we got this to wrap around. Now we're using a small one-man tent that I've never used before, so that could be interesting. Look at the sun rays in the background. All right, let's set this tent up. I'm so glad there's no wind today, because when you're one person, setting up the tent in the wind is not fun. But there is enough of a breeze that I shouldn't leave anything laying around. We gotta stuff it back in the pack. All right, everyone. I don't think this will blow away. As a last resort, it does have the bungee cords. It's not gonna blow away with me inside it. Definitely not. It has my heavy pack in there. You saw me huffing and puffing. That wasn't for no reason. That backpack probably weighs a good 60, 70 pounds. You saw on the ladder, I could barely lift it with one hand. I have a lot of water in there, protein shakes. I had these propane stuff. I had the tent. I had a lot of stuff in there. Camera gear. I have a flashlight that alone is 10 pounds. But this is a beautiful place. The wind is so light. You can hear nothing except crickets in the distance. Right here we have some beautiful sun rays coming out. I think we're gonna have an absolutely gorgeous sunset up here in another 2 hours. So the stressful part is done. This was literally last minute. This morning I was planning on camping on top of Mount Washington, but the weather seemed too cold and windy there, so at last moment I decided to come here since I knew it was pretty easy to set up, and I was fearing that we were gonna run out of time or something, but now my mind is at ease. I'm in a beautiful spot. This is picture perfect. Look down here. You see what I'm zooming into? That's the flooded area where I had to walk around and see if it was safe. That's the beaver area. You can even see that big tank that they have that was supposed to be blocking the road. I wonder if those guys got down there yet. Probably not. Right here, that's the auto road we drove up on. You see that crevice down here? That's where the road is. See it circles around there. I'm constantly taking pictures. This is nice. Now you gotta be very careful if you were walking around up here at night. There's the way down. Right there's unsafe wood and a 5-6 story drop. Terrifying. There's lots of open hatches all over the place. On the bright side, I don't think coyotes can get up that ladder. A bear could, but basically any animal out here, they want absolutely nothing to do with you unless they are absolutely starving. This is a very beautiful building too. We're high up in the clouds. There are so many campsites. I guess this place, as time goes on, it shows the vandalism, the theft. It's rampant. Back in the day, this whole mountaintop was clear cut when this was an active base. See the power lines there running through the woods? This was all clear cut. Back down in there, I showed you, there was a generating building. Over here looks like some kind of, maybe a reservoir or something. I see lots of like lake houses. But unless you zoom in, it's very secluded. You can't hear traffic. You can't even hear wind. I hope it stays kind of quiet like this, especially at night. This is gonna be a scary place because the wind blowing, there's loose sheet metal all over these buildings, a bunch of random stuff making noise. But tonight we're gonna have a good meal. I brought some freeze-dried fried rice. I have the burner there. I can go ahead and cook us up some water to pour into the bag. It's freeze-dried. It only takes like 10 minutes to expand. We have a heat source. If I got absolutely freezing, I'm gonna light that later, or that cooktop inside the tent. This is the smallest tent I've ever used. I've never gone backpacking with a one-man tent. I've always taken like a three-man tent with me. I never minded the extra weight, but this is because my plan was actually Mount Washington, and that is a very steep hike, so you want to keep yourself as light as possible. So this is the first time I ever owned a one-man tent. It was very affordable too. It was only 19 bucks on Walmart's discount shelf because they're selling off all their summer stuff. This isn't a winter tent. It's not very well insulated. Actually, see that tie down? I should tie the top a little better so the wind's not blowing through me all night. But we got 2 hours of daylight left. So I'm gonna take you guys around the mountaintop area of the base, and yeah, then I'm gonna sit down, relax as we watch the sunset, have dinner, edit together this video. All right, let's go exploring. Let me get a big flashlight out of my pack. This is my freeze-dried fried rice. Got an MRE I can snack on tonight. I brought a ton of protein shakes, a ton of zip ties in case I want to zip this thing a little tighter to the roof. Right here I have one of my very bright diving lamps. It lights up a whole room. That's what we're gonna take with us right now. Leave the heavy pack in there so nothing can blow away. I want to have a sip of water, and this is the first time I've ever tried. These are insulated pants for sub-zero temperatures. They're very thin, but the innards of these pants are actually 100% wool, which is really good at keeping you warm. These pants are hopefully will keep me nice and warm without the bulkiness of like a polyester snowsuit. All right, everyone, here begins our tour. Look at all the shocks, just like that opened the back of an SUV or something. That would have opened these heavy doors. There was likely a hoist to get things up onto the roof. And look at these metal pipes. That's the internal structure of the building. Sitting on top of this would have been a gigantic radar satellite dish looking thing back in the day. This is what held it up. This is the structure. We have some old lights in here. There's an old heater. You can see the steam pipes that would have run through it. Then there was a fan to disperse all that heat that was coming from the boilers. Breathtaking mountain views. Oh, wow. I'm hoping the sun will come back out and surprise us. Right here, we have some dripping water. Hasn't rained in a good couple of days, but it's still dripping. Look at all the garbage in here. Wow. Nice. People are trash sometimes. There's so much garbage here. You can see people have a fire pit. Not really a problem with that. This place is metal, concrete. You're not going to burn it down, but the amount of garbage is unacceptable. People having parties up here. Oh, another beautiful view. This is also a good place for a campsite. Look at that. Someone even had a fire pit right here. Beautiful mountain view. Imagine how nice it would have been back in the day working here, having those breathtaking views. Although everyone working here was probably super worried because this place was when they were afraid of nuclear war. But thankfully this place never saw a nuclear war. This is sealed off, but we can get to that from another part of the building. All right, let's walk around a bit. Someone had a fire in there. Someone also was doing a donut with a dirt bike or something I see on the floor. Last time I was out here, I remember myself rocking this thing back and forth, trying to get it to roll a little bit. Hey, I actually got it to move this time. I didn't have the strength last year. All right. I did crush. There was an entire, like, empty container of motor oil down there. That got popped. Right here you can see the pads on the floor. Maybe a generator or heating system was sitting in here. Here's the part of the building that was blocked off. Ooh, what happened here? Look how it's all pushed. Did someone come in here with an ATV that had a plow on it or something? Looks like someone plowed this garbage out of their way to set up a tent. Here's the base of the structure that was holding up the radar. Oh, wow. Look at this. We're inside the massive freight elevator that would have gone up top. Wow. Coming out back where I parked. Look right here. Here's a pretty big fire pit. Someone left their tarp there. Someone can reuse that. It's a pretty nice tarp. How far away do you think this guy was when he was shooting? How good of a shot is this person? Okay, this is probably the most dangerous building you'll find, even though it's the shortest. You know what? I gotta show you inside. I gotta. So, see? Someone stole all the metal decking. So I'm playing a balancing game right now. Going inside. You can see how dangerous it is. Look, even that beam right there is falling apart. But right here are the very strong galvanized beams that I'm walking on in the middle. But this whole place is a death trap. Look at that. In order to get to the roof, you got to go up that staircase, which is very strong. Top of the staircase, look how that's peeling away. Look at the floor upstairs, worse than down here. Then you got to go through this door. So you got to come over here, come over there. And then inside there, you'll find a ladder going to the roof. So we can do it. It's okay. Look at this. You just got to stay where the very strong beams are, or else you'll fall through the floor. And that's a tetanus nightmare. Look at all that rust. Super duper strong stairs though. Oh, wow. You gotta stay on the beam. Sketchy. That right there is not a very strong beam, so I'd want to go this way. Right here's another road going to a building that's torn down. There's another group of people here right now on dirt bikes. They don't plan on spending the night. Sounds like a good group of guys. They all say hello. We're gonna go explore some of the other buildings, and then we'll make our way back to camp later. So this right here is where I took the truck earlier. This is where I turned around earlier. Here's another heating oil tank. This climate around here is so cold in the winter. I guess they wanted tanks that were big enough so they don't have to come up here with a fuel truck in the middle of winter. Look at the size of this giant ventilation fan. Will that still move? Ooh, it's still movable. Look at that. All right, everyone. This building right here was basically a server building, or the equivalent of it back in those days when technology wasn't as great. So this right here was just a room full of breakers, electronics and stuff. Right here on the floor, there would have been metal plates covering up these trenches. These trenches were full of conduit. They were full of wires, constantly running new stuff, ripping out old stuff. They made it so it's really easy to work on it. So basically this building would have been like a modern server building, but not so modern, with their old massive computers to run the station. And there's another building like that too that we'll go to later on. All right, everyone, this is the second tallest radar tower. Here's the old boiler building that would have supplied heat. Look at the asbestos and protective covering to stop the pipes from freezing in the winter. Once again, see all this? This was full of wires right there that would have held conduit going between the buildings, going to those different server buildings. Someone stole a good amount of the stairs, but you can still monkey up it pretty easily. Quite easily. All right, coming up into the dark, scary section. Got to be very mindful of what you're stepping on. Want to only trust strong beams. There's holes everywhere in the concrete. So back in the day, you see these holes? This would have had conduit. Tons of wires going up to equipment in here. Really cool. Here's the bathroom. You see the toilet hole. You can see on the wall where the sink was sitting at one point. All right, making our way up to the roof. Just keeping an eye on my area. Right here was another bathroom. There's a toilet. Here's the stall. And let's look out the window. There's usually a smashed toilet. Yep. I'm seeing broken pieces of it down there. See the ceramics? Always. People have to throw them out the window. Look at that beautiful bird. Is that a mockingbird? No, I don't think it is, but it's very pretty. All right. One more flight of stairs. Wow. Look at this hoist. You see how I was able to run along this beam? That is so cool. That's really cool. Ooh, look at this. Stalactites forming. Oh, wow. Those stalactites are awesome. Look at that. That is so cool. What is this machine? Is that a air exchanger? Look out here onto the roof. Such a beautiful forest. Almost no wind. Here's one way up to the top. There's also a enclosed ladder over here. But once again, you see all the holes in the floor. There would have been lots of conduit coming up to here to all the equipment. Was this another toilet? I don't think it was. I don't have boots on today. That's okay. It hasn't really been raining, so it's not that wet. Alrighty. Up on top of the other building now. Once again, beautiful view. Are we even able to see the tent? Yep. That's one really tough toilet. Sunset's getting really pretty over here. Look at this. There's someone's campfire. All right, everyone, I decided to come down this side. Awesome. All right, I gotta go back to the other building and check on camp because a bunch of people were just up there. Gotta be careful here. Almost down. Everything here would have been stolen if it was easily able to come off. Surprised the people who clearly had cutting torches didn't do worse. Ooh, the sun is back out. The buildings are starting to creak again as they expand. Pretty cool. All right, everyone, here's another building. This one doesn't appear to be one of those communication buildings, although there's a lot of them. Maybe just general storage. Just look at the way it's built, too. Not sure what it would have been. All right, everyone, before it gets really dark and scary, I'm gonna walk down the road. It's probably only a 5-minute walk to that first building that I pulled into earlier. Everyone that comes up here is super friendly. These guys on the dirt bikes say they plan on camping here sometime later this week. They don't have their gear, so it looks like we'll likely be alone later on. Oh, there's another one of those tanks in there, oil tank. There's a bunch of guardrails. What I like about this base is when it was abandoned back in the 60s, they actually came in here and they properly cleaned out all the oil tanks. They didn't leave any hazardous sludge. They all have an opening on them that shows they were properly cleaned out, which is interesting to see. A lot of these super old abandoned places have leaking oil tanks all over the place. Whole area just reeks of diesel fuel. Look at the nice guardrails. You can even see here the ground slowly sliding. I think we're about halfway back down to that building. I shut the camera off and it was right around the corner. Here we go. I came up here last year and made an epic exploring video of the whole complex in detail. The fog was so thick you couldn't see, like you wouldn't be able to see the end of this road right there. And that time we actually missed a good amount of buildings. It was just so foggy we couldn't see them there. I should have been using Google Maps to look at everything, but I wasn't. We came back and made a very thorough video after that on a different day. See this area with the cage? I'm thinking there may have been a generator there or something. There's the tank to run the heating system and the generator. Over here, I do smell diesel fuel everywhere. Does this tank have one of those cuts? This one might actually have fuel still in it. Yeah. Can already tell. Look at this. Oh yeah. It doesn't matter that it's been abandoned 6 decades. Diesel fuel always will still smell. In fact, it'll still burn when it's that old. Ooh, a Christmas tree. There's a lot of flies in here. Look at this. This is another one of those buildings with lots of switches and stuff. Look at this wire up here. Someone was hanging clothes or something. Yep, so basically another communication building. Look at this, someone made their own bed out of tree branches. That's so cool. They made their own mattress out of branches, camped in here. But it's a shame to see, look at the amount of trash. Wow. But I wanted to come down and see this building. So yes, this building still has diesel fuel and it's slowly leaking. Even after 6 decades, you can smell it all over the place. Look at that, a burnout with studded tires. Now that's not as deep as it looks, honestly. It's like a power washer. It just cleaned the dirty part off, and that's actually clean pavement there. It didn't dig very deep, it just kind of cleaned the road like a pressure washer. Here's another one of those buildings with the unsafe floors. Yeah, look in the middle where there's no protection, it just has a wide open roof. And it's pretty bad right there. What I'm standing on is also a little soft. Gotta be careful to stay exactly where the beams are. Alright, let's come on over here to the staircase. Going up inside. Okay, more very bad floors that you can really easily fall through. Not as bad a condition as the other building, although it seems to be in the worst spots. We got to get in here to go to a ladder. All right, we're in here. Look at all that plastic silverware that someone dropped. Okay, almost up to the roof. Can shut my light off. It's magnetic. It can stick right to my tripod for easy holding. Just really watching the floor where the beams are. All right, got it. Monkeying up. Okay, the top's easy because I can rest my back against the hatch. Oh. Looks like an alien spaceship up here. Up here you also want to walk here because under the metal is very nasty rotten plywood. Look at that. All right, everyone, we're alone again. Those guys came up here, did a little bit of target practicing, got some good shots of all the pretty trees. They're supposed to come back up here and camp in a couple of days. They're just scouting out the area. The sunset is starting to get beautiful. Now this building's roof, I don't really know what to think of it. You see, they tarred it to make it waterproof. It's these panels of sheet metal, which I'm imagining were painted back in the day. Even though underneath it is just rotten plywood, I don't see anywhere that it's actually compromised enough to go through. I'm thinking there's more metal underneath it. I'll have to check in on that when we go back down. But right here, this also would have been a good option to camp. It's a bit risky coming up here though, so right here we have lots of anchor points if I was to put my tent right here in the middle. Here's the hatch for the hoist. Ooh, look at this. I just stepped on this. Listen to the air coming out of that hole. Ooh, there's a lot of water stuck underneath some of these panels. Amazing. It's getting hazier, which might be a good thing. I think that'll make the sunset even more beautiful. Down the hatch again. This is even still rubbery back when this was a gasket for the door. We're all alone now. It's so eerie. It's so still. But yet the slight breeze that there is making sheet metal make noises. I think right here, or maybe up there, I parked somewhere last year and there was so many nails from a fire. Can you see the ripples? Some of these ripples are over 2 feet deep. It's all the frost heaving in the winter time. This area gets a lot of rain, especially being on the top of a mountain. A lot more moisture than down below. It gets colder up here. Now this building looks like it was another one of those server buildings. You see, it's all the areas to run wiring. There would have been equipment sitting in here all around. Someone stole most of the metal roofing. This side was a little bit too difficult. Look at all the ventilation shafts. What do you think was sitting on top of here that may have needed all that ventilation and cooling? I know server buildings require lots of air conditioning and blower fans. Take a look at this blower fan right here. I can actually spin that. Check it out. Bearings on that are still pretty well oiled for decades. Sunset's getting nice. Look back here. Look at this gigantic vent that it would have been blowing out of. Down below us, there's a little bit of a basement. If you look down here, there's doors. But there's really nothing in the basement but a whole bunch of insulation, garbage, more air ducts. I can still hear their dirt bikes in the distance. And it's been a good 15 minutes. They must be down by the base camp by now. When I'm walking in a place like this, I always have steel sole inserts in my shoes, just in case I step on something like a nail. I don't want to get injured out here all by myself with no signal. So it's important to have proper footwear in these places. And I didn't bring my boots because I was kind of right. There's not really much water here. All right, let's do a little bit more exploring, then we'll get up on the roof. Up here on the top of the mountain, the sun has already set. No more sunlight. But we still have like an hour of sunlight, I think, if we're up top. The sun also might be behind a cloud. It definitely set down here, but I think these buildings will be back in the sun again. It's just behind a big old cloud. But this place is so cool. We'll go exploring again once it gets pitch dark with big lights. I want to get back up to our camp. Look at this, I got this nice hat out of my truck. This will be nice for tonight. It's not really cold, not yet, but it's gonna be cold later on. So that's why I brought all my blankets upstairs, since I don't have a jacket with me. But it's okay. Once the sun comes up in the morning, tomorrow's gonna be also warm. Today was like 75 degrees for the high. Tomorrow's gonna be about 68. Tonight's about to be 38. Not that bad. So I always use these dive lamps. They're super bright. I just got the more modern one. So this one, you got to take the batteries out of it, put it in another charger. The newer one has like all the batteries come out and they're all inside this tube, which you just plug it in with a USB-C, which is the newest thing. The new one doesn't come with this nice handle, which is kind of unfortunate, but it has the threading. I could buy it separately. It's kind of mean that they make you do that with the newer model. But the newer model is a little bigger, a little brighter. We're gonna test it out tonight as we walk around the place. I didn't bring my massive flashlight this time, but I brought another bright one only because my super bright one, unfortunately, I lost the charger, and the new charger won't be here until Thursday. It's Monday. Look at the front tire of my truck. Look at that, we picked up a souvenir. I better get upstairs and account for my stuff. I was right, we're back in the sun for now. It's beautiful orange sunset. Let's go up top, cook dinner, and enjoy this. It's actually hitting me. It wasn't over there, it is behind those trees technically. But let's go upstairs, watch the sunset, then we'll go exploring this dark, scary place at night. That'll be awesome. So let's get this straight. 1 flight of stairs. 2 flights of stairs. Getting windy, very windy. Wonder how bad it'll be up at the top. 3 flights of stairs. 4 flights of stairs. 5. Hopefully it's not too windy for my cooktop burner. Might have to do it in the tent. Level 6. And the ceiling here is also kind of double. So we're just about 7 or 8 stories, the equivalent of in a regular building. Going up them that fast gives me a little workout, but it's good for me. All right, let's go up top and eat. I can just imagine those other people coming up here. Must have been like, woo, because you can't see the tent from down below. It's getting a little windy. We have things like this to block the wind because it is coming from that direction. The orange sunset is making the fall foliage look even more beautiful. But now that we're up here, high above the tree line, you can clearly see it's gonna be like another hour before the sun actually sets from this high vantage point. So pretty. Wow. Breathtaking. This is probably the most beautiful shot. And what I'm noticing now is the wind is really coming up this side of the mountain. It's strong, strong wind. But over here, once you're up here, there's really no wind. I'm thankful the wind's not coming from this direction. Hopefully that doesn't change. It's coming from this direction. Up here by my face, it's windy. Down here, really nothing. Oops, I gotta go back down to the truck real quick. Gotta go get a lighter. You can probably tell I'm doing a lot of huffing and puffing in this video. Well, it took a lot of energy to put this together today because I didn't even know I was coming here 6 hours ago. We're doing a lot in a short period of time. But I'm glad I got to come back down here to get a lighter because look at the sun on that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, before we go back up top, I kind of want to go back in the second tallest tower just to get a shot of the other towers in this beautiful lighting. Thankfully, in my car, I had this chicken lighter. I was like at first, oh no, I forgot one. But my girlfriend forgot a lighter in there, so I got lucky. It doesn't sound like it has much gas and it sounds like it's just about dead, but all I need is this thing to make a spark to light my propane burner. Wouldn't even matter if this thing was dead. And I got some M&Ms in my car I forgot about. I'll just leave that stuff here for now. Let's get back up in this building. Takes a lot of energy being a monkey. Okay, here's the sketchy parts. As the sun goes down, that's beautiful, the sun in that vent over there. Let's go look at that closer. It's pretty nice. Let's take a peek. Okay. We still got some daylight. Let's not let it not go to waste. Oh, here's a good shot. Looks nice. And the sun is only gonna get more and more orange. If you're not carrying a tripod, like I don't have my tripod with me right now, this is honestly the easier choice as long as you got two hands. And I don't need this light. I'll just leave it there for now. Yeah, picture perfect. There's that other server building, we're gonna call it. This has got to be the most gorgeous place ever. And here, I was thinking about doing it in the rain, thinking it would be interesting. But it's good to come at different times. I would love to camp here again someday, maybe during a snowstorm or something. Imagine how awesome that would be. Beautiful out here. Right now, I can tell why a good amount of campers choose to be inside the building like this. It's a lot warmer in here. There's no wind at all. Outside, there's a slight wind chill. But being inside like this, it feels like it's heated actually. And it'll probably stay that way all night. Just being out of the wind just naturally makes it feel warmer inside these places, which is nice. But we'll be up on the roof for those beautiful views and windy flapping tent all night. I'm making my way back now over to camp. Gotta be careful around all these corners like this. Boom. Good. The sunset's getting prettier. Look at that. It's almost red. All right, we're back up top. That's why the building looks red. Gorgeous. Look at that. Perfect amount of clouds for an awesome sunset. Wow. Look at the tent. Woo! It's okay once we're in there. I don't mind that. I'll probably sleep through it. Maybe when we go exploring tonight, I'll grab a pair of earplugs. Then the flapping won't keep me up. Look at that. It looks like a alien ship down there. All right, everyone, we're back. I don't need the hat at the moment. It's nice up here. Like I said, the wind is up here, but if you're low to the ground, keep yourself low. The wind is actually not that bad. So I got some water. I'm gonna have this chicken fried rice, and maybe I'll eat this in my tent later on, the MRE, if I'm still hungry. Although this is a lot of rice, that should be enough for a while. The ground up here is kind of muddy actually. It's okay, when I get home, I'm probably gonna just put the whole tent through a washing machine. So how much water do I need 355 milliliters. What is this? 500 milliliters. So about 2/3 of this bottle. Let's go ahead and put it in the pot. Now this one I'm not gonna go ahead and crush. I'm gonna need some pee bottles for the night. I think the sun will be set in like 10 minutes. All right, it's going. Maybe if we leave it on high, it won't blow out. Let's hope. If it blows out, I'm gonna put it on the other side of the tent. The sun is officially setting. This is such a good campsite because from up here, not that we're gonna be looking or even notice, you would see lights coming in on the auto road down there. You'd see people with flashlights or a truck driving up here at least 10 minutes before it even got up here. Look at that, the sun is setting right now. Half of it's behind that mountain. The wind is picking up. It's getting scary. It's also nice having the truck parked right there. I can just look down the edge, make sure no one messes with the truck at night, because I wouldn't feel as comfortable here if I was parked at the bottom of the mountain and walked up. Just wouldn't. Now, people come here to vandalize these buildings. That doesn't mean they'll vandalize your car. It's very unlikely, actually, but I'm not going to take a risk like that. I'm gonna time lapse the sunset, I think, while we wait for that water to heat up. Wow, that sun really went down fast. I only time lapsed there for 2 minutes, not even. But now if we look over here, that actually looks really beautiful in itself. Just that horizon line. I don't know what I touched. My finger kind of smells like roadkill. I don't know what I accidentally stepped in, what kind of poop I accidentally stepped in, or whatever is up here. I touched something nasty. Ugh. I'm gonna do a little bit more time lapsing. I'll let the camera charge up a little bit. I'm gonna eat. All right, everyone. It is now 6:45. Let's open this thing on up. I thought it was resealable. I guess not. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Take out the little packet. I'll probably run this a little bit, honestly, once I seal up the tent. If it gets too cold. Right now, it's not even cold. Go ahead, pour this into our little baggie. Got to zip it up so it keeps all the steam inside. Now that I have securely zipped it, it looks like, yep, zipped. Shake it around a little bit. Wow, that's really hot on the hands. Shake it around. Let that sit here for like 20 minutes. It's also good to keep it in the wind because it'll also help it cool down. That'll suck all it up and it'll be nice. And we can maybe use this again so we don't have to burn through our MRE heaters. We can just heat up some water, put the MRE meal, which is like in Mylar bags, just soak it in the water. Then I don't have to waste the MRE heaters. So that'll be cool. Now, I forgot a couple things. I'm gonna go back down to the truck before it gets completely dark. I need to go in the woods, I need to poop, and I need to get some earplugs up here. Pronto. Let's head back down. Look at the sun setting. That's gonna be a beautiful horizon line for a while. I don't know what that mountain range is exactly, but it's set behind a mountain, which I originally thought was a cloud. The haziness looks kind of beautiful. There looks like a little town way out there. It could just be a couple single houses. Notice there's no light pollution, nothing. This place is going to be so dark and scary in a couple of hours. The trees still look nice, orangey. The wind isn't getting worse. It's also not getting better. I'm sure you can hear that in the microphone. Sorry about that. All right, let's grab the big light. I gotta walk down. This staircase is gonna be terrifying now because down in the building is pitch dark. There's pieces of metal and stuff clanging around in the wind, which is scary. Wow, the gust of wind pouring out of this door. This is like a ventilation shaft, basically. All right, and we made it out. It's still light enough to see pretty well, but we're at that stage, it's getting scary. All right, I'm terrified now. We'll go for another walk once it gets pitch dark, but do you hear the wind gushing around? Listen carefully. You can hear how windy it is up there. Down here is not that bad, just a little breezy, but up top at camp, it's terrifyingly windy right now. You hear the metal creaking. This place has a bunch of myths, and there's also lots of people that have talked about seeing scary stuff here at night. Whether or not they're just making up stuff to scare people from ever staying at the place, trying to scare people away. But a lot of people say that they've been abducted here by aliens. This strange place in the middle of the wilderness, at the top of a mountain, very isolated. This place has the best view of sight of any place I've ever camped at. But can't see a single town. I see a couple houses, their lights. This is the best place to go camping if you're trying to get stronger. This is quite the workout. Time to get back up on the roof. Scary. Yeah. So scary now that I shut the light off. This place makes all kinds of eerie noises at night. So once it gets completely dark, we're gonna see where the light pollution is. Over there's just a couple of houses, it looks like. Nothingness. Looks like when that sun's done setting, we'll see a couple more lights more vibrantly. Still looking gorgeous. It's now 2 minutes to 7. Get inside now. Here's a little tour of my tent. This pad fit in here perfectly. Got my bear spray just in case. Took that off because it's not comfortable sitting down with something like that. Got my power bank. This meal is still cooling. Got my lights. Got an MRE. Got hand warmers. Got a little tripod. A whole bunch of headlamps. Another blanket in case this one gets bad. I have a pillow, but I can also use this pack as a whole pillow too. And working out nicely. I can even throw the pack outside if it isn't enough space. Now you see how this is flapping around so much? I don't think I'd be able to sleep well. I'm gonna use earplugs. All right, I'm just gonna organize a little bit now. And I have to open the MRE because I don't have a spoon for this. We'll find one in there pretty easily. Gotta get it open. Don't have the strength for it. What do we got in this MRE today? We have chicken chunks. We have barbecue corn nuggets, barbecue flavored corn kernels, condiments, paper towels. We have a chocolate flavored energy bar. Well, that'll be good for breakfast. I'll probably eat a lot of this for breakfast. We got cheese spread. We have tortillas, plain. We have carbohydrate electrolyte beverage powder, fruit punch flavor. We have a beef stick. And here's what I was looking for. I need this spoon. And we have barbecue sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and neatly pack all this stuff back in. We'll have this for snacks tonight. We'll have it for breakfast. Ooh, that smells delicious. Are you able to see that in there? Look at that. That food looks really good. And now it's nice and warm, no longer hot. These Mylar bags hold heat for a while. This takes a long time to cool down. That is delicious. All right, time to enjoy my meal. All right, everyone, that was delicious. Hopefully that gives me a little bit of energy to go exploring tonight. Cleaned off the spoon, can use it later. Can have a little bit to drink too. All right, everyone. I just spent about 3 hours editing the first part of this video together, getting rid of some unnecessary stuff. Here is a really bright flashlight that's going to go on my belt. I'm going to bring the new flashlight. I'm going to carry this one. It's good to have lots of options in a place like this. You don't want to be in the dark. I'm going to put my beanie hat back on, which has a light. I'm just going to use it to warm myself a little bit. I want to put the bear spray back in my holster. We got to go back out. Now, sitting here for 3 hours, every now and then there's a big gust of wind that'll be like, "Roar." But for the most part, the wind has actually dropped off. There's a lot of whistling sounds in the wind, scary noises in the distance, even coyotes in the distance. You hear things. I even heard a flock of Canadian geese fly over. There's a lot of noises going on. But I want to go outside. I haven't been outside since twilight. Can't wait to see what kind of things we can maybe see on the horizon. All right, everyone, I'm out of the tent. And here's what it looks like with just my headlamp. Now let's try this new light. It's about the same as the old one. It is basic. It is the same thing, actually. It's just a newer version. Good for lighting up the rooms. I got one really bright light I'm going to use just a moment right here. Got it right here on my belt. Let's look out in the distance. Can we see the other buildings? I don't know if you can see them on camera, but I can see them very faintly. But now I want to shut my light off. I want to make it completely dark for a moment. Let's just look on the horizon. I'm letting my eyes adjust. I see something that might be an airport. You see all those flashing lights? On, off. It's either markers for an airport or maybe a bunch of windmills. One or the other. Looking up at the sky. There's so many stars, but that's not really something I can show you guys in a video. Stars don't usually show up very well. Other than that, other than seeing those red dots, whatever those lights are, we're pretty alone. I see, realistically, if I look careful enough, it's just like stars. The longer you look out, the more you're gonna see. So right off the bat, there's maybe 24 noticeable lights, which are probably houses. If you keep looking, you could probably point out 100 individual ones, if you know what I mean. So that food woke me up a little bit. I just want to point out to everyone, look at this wood right here. It's not even rotting a bit. abandoned 60 years. I've seen decks on houses rotted through like 2 decades. It's because back in the day, pressure treated wood had arsenic in it. It lasts a very, very long time. New pressure treated wood doesn't contain that. And that's why it doesn't last as long, newer construction. Also, this stuff, I'm willing to bet, had creosote or something mixed in with it. I don't see any rotten wood. I see broken railings everywhere, but that's only because people wanted to smash things and have campfires with the wood because they're too lazy to bring firewood up 8 flights of stairs. That's what it is. All right, everyone. This right here is one of my favorite flashlights. On button. It's got a bunch of different settings. See? Low, brighter, brighter, brighter. That's the brightest it gets. But the cool thing about this one flashlight is, see, it's pretty bright. It's just as bright as the diving lamps. It's got a beam feature for highlighting things in the distance. Oh, wow. That thing, this is definitely projecting light further than that other one. The other one projects wide, but this one actually is showing us far away. But if I hold this button, look at that beam it makes. You can highlight, you can look at specific things in the distance. It's so cool. Look at that. That's awesome. All right, I'm going over here to the edge of the building and I'm trying to get a view down there. Wow, we're so high up. Look at this. You can look down here at that. You can look down the road a good amount with this beam. You can highlight certain things down there in this building. It's super duper cool. Oh, there's that building over there. I didn't even notice. It's not showing up as good on camera. Just let me see that over there. Yeah, look at that building over there. That's showing up. Yeah, that's showing up really good on camera. Look at that building over there. You look down here. This thing really lights it up with that beam. I like it. Yeah, see in the distance you can see a few lights here and there. It's pretty windy and I'm getting a little shaky there, being so close to the edge. Gotta stay mindful of all the open holes. Hey, will you look at that? That light actually kind of fits in the holster. So I want to use this light. This light is actually way better. And this one will actually tell me on here, look at that. I have about an hour and 34 minutes on flood level 4. Flood level 5, I only have 13 minutes. Oh, come on. Flood level 1. Oh, wait, 53 minutes. 20 minutes. 5 minutes. 4 minutes. Oh, it's a minute. That's it? Oh, come on. Yeah, bright lights don't last a long time, but I know for a fact I've used this before. We got a good 20 minutes or something to explore, and I got all those other lights. Now let's get down here without falling. Right, I made it down. The roof, in my eyes, is like my safety zone. Down here, I'm terrified. I'm all alone, out in the middle of nowhere. I hear wind, whistling noises, weird banging noises that are not consistent, but I know it's the wind. People leave so much garbage in wrappers. I'm sure it attracts things in these buildings. Coyotes, raccoons, like I said, none of which wants to mess with you. But you corner it. If you walk into a room, things get angry. And that's why you always got to have something on you. Bear spray, something. Just in case. Most animals you shout loud, they'll run away. Most animals won't take that. Oh wow, look at that track on the ceiling. It had a hoist that went all the way around. Does the hoist still exist? Nope. It did in the other building, as you saw. And look, here's the elevator. It says shaft way. All right, let's come down. Here we are on the second floor. I should say second level. These are like super double high ceilings. All right, we've reached the ground level. My sense of safety has gone down even more. It's not cold. It's not even windy down here. Oh, but hear those noises? I hear scary noises. This is the time we can use our beam. Okay, look at this. Use our beam. I can look in the distance. All this is gonna do is scare me if I see something move. See, we can point it all the way down the road. Look all the way down there. If I zoom you guys in, really helps. See, I can look all the way down around that corner with this light. That's what's cool about it. Here's that big tank. There's where we're camped, way on up there. We've already explored everything. There's not too much to see at night. Here's someone's campground. This place has a lot of campsites. I bet during the peak days of summer, there was probably dozens of people here at once. It's got a whole parking area. This place is cool. It's way better footage if I don't use panoramic. Panoramic requires a lot of light to work properly. You see what I mean? The noises and scary stuff are not consistent at all. Right. We are venturing down these really scary roads. There's no wind here once you're down in the tree line. Now that I'm going up in this building, I'm gonna switch lights so I don't burn up all the battery in that beam light. I don't know what it is or how to explain it exactly, but people ask me all the time, do you get scared when you are out exploring abandoned places like this all by yourself? Especially now at night. How do you not get scared out here? Well, the thing is, when I'm holding a camera with me, it feels like I'm with other people because I'm bringing along a lot of people with me right now. this video was likely to get seen by over 100,000 people, and it makes me feel like I'm not alone, since a lot of people will see these footage. But I guess also just thinking and talking out loud keeps me company to a sense. If I was just wandering these halls by myself, not talking, or whoa, right here. I heard something like drag along the floor. What is that? That was not here earlier, was it? A Mylar blanket? It's an emergency blanket. I don't remember that earlier. That is freaky. Alright. Going up onto the roof. When I'm up on the roof of these places, I feel considerably safer. I think because I know there ain't too many animals that can actually get up ladders like that. Things like a bear, I'm sure can, but it's not worth it to them. Same with a raccoon. I don't think it's worth monkeying up that for no reason. Something like a coyote, that's not getting up here. Look at this. Look at the other buildings in the distance. You see the other buildings in the distance? That is cool. And I'm gonna keep this light right here, lighting up everything between my legs. Now I'm gonna get out the other big flashlight. Well, that's already adding a good amount of light. Look at that beam. Oh, so you can highlight things on the building, look around like a searchlight. You can look around anywhere. You can look inside a window. Yeah, look at that. We're gonna zoom way into this window, shine the light in there. You can look very good. Same with over here. You can look at things on the building. You can look up at my campsite with great detail. Can we see the tent? No, it's a dark colored tent. I don't think we're gonna see it. I don't think it's gonna show up, but this searchlight beam works great for this type of exploration. Let me shut this one off so I don't burn it out. I'm putting that one back in my holster. I want to take a look at that server building over here. Be careful what I'm walking on. This railing, I'm sure, is stable, this metal one. So we got the beam again. Where's that other building? Yes, I am looking the wrong way. Look at this. There it is. I was close at first. I was close. There it is. There's the building. You can see it. I was looking over here just a little. Yeah, my perception was slightly off. But as soon as I noticed the location of the big tower, I immediately could find it. That's a scary place in case you accidentally fell. But this thing's there to protect you. It's unlikely you'd actually fall all the way to the ground. You'd get caught on that. That safety feature is still working. All right. I want to make my way back to the big building now. I'm gonna go back to the truck real quick. I want to grab some mouthwash. I forgot my toothbrush, so that'll have to do for tonight. Even if my videos seem like they are cut up, these walks like this through the woods, through abandoned buildings, You never know what kind of animal you're gonna see. You don't know what you're gonna run into. And if I record the entire thing, I'm sure to have that on camera, so that's what I do. Then I cut out a lot of the boring walking around parts. And then there's a lot of it I don't cut out because I like it. Remember, creatures like Bigfoot don't like to be caught on camera. So if you're walking around recording everything, Bigfoot is never going to go near you. Although, they say Bigfoot is a peaceful creature, but still doesn't want to be seen on cameras at all. Alright, we're down. No more risky areas left on our way back. You know, those Mylar blankets, like that thing up there that scared me, those actually do work really, really well. I went camping in a culvert pipe and I lined the entire inside of the pipe with Mylar blankets and a bunch of magnets to stick it to the inside of the pipe, and it reflects the heater all over the place. Infrared all over. It just kept me so warm. It was so pleasant. Now I really want to make my way back up. That food earlier energized me enough to get my butt up, get myself editing, but I think I'll still sleep very well tonight. It's not even cold yet. That tent shields me so well. I don't even know if I'll need both blankets, but they're up there. All right, I am on my way back up. Just grabbed some mouthwash at the minute. And yeah, I'm gonna eat some more. But it's always good to clean your teeth, even if it's just mouthwash. Because that's when bacteria starts really growing when you're sleeping. It'll give you plenty of cavities. Brushing in the morning isn't as big of a deal since your mouth's just not going to be sitting there where bacteria can take off, but at night, wow, in here it is warm. Let me put my arm. Yeah, the concrete's actually warm from sitting in the sun all day. Didn't see any creatures other than a few moths. Halfway up to camp, and I speed walk up these stairs every time, and I'm working up a sweat. I am working up a sweat. All right, we're up to the top floor. Now we gotta get to the roof. Oh, ooh. Mouse. Ooh! Mouse. I think it just went down. Yep. Mice live here. Things get attracted because people leave food everywhere. All right, let's try to... I actually got it. I thought I was gonna throw the mouthwash and then boom, back down in my face. Perfect landing. Now we're gonna make some more dinner. All right, it's 11:30 at night. I hear something out there. I think there's a dirt bike or an ATV coming right now. That is kind of really spooky at this hour. Yeah. Someone's coming. I'm nervous. I don't know what to think. I can still hear the engine of an ATV or a dirt bike. I saw lights. I don't see them anymore. Maybe they stopped at that other building, but I doubt it. Who comes up here at night and doesn't come all the way up here? We're using red lights because you can't see them from a distance as easily. It's gonna be a long night. I don't think I'll be able to sleep well knowing this, but I'm glad I didn't go to sleep earlier and have earplugs in and have someone come out of that hatch right next to my tent. I don't even know if I'll be able to sleep. This is spooky. Here is somebody. ATV. Not the police or anyone, but I think it's best to just make myself known immediately so I don't scare someone. Hello?
Hello.
How are you?
Excellent. Yourself.
I'm doing okay.
Don't fall down.
We're just camping. Is that all right?
I do not own the property.
Alrighty.
I got my nephew up here. We own down the beginning of the road.
Alrighty.
And I was telling my nephew, be careful, there might be some hoodlums camping.
Yep.
But you're in a safe place.
Yeah.
So am I, because I don't give a shit what you're doing, but don't get hurt.
All right. Thank you. I just wanted to make myself known.
Well, I saw the lights and I go, now look at this tall tower. I figured we'd come up during the day sometime and then maybe, rather than light up the tower, and then we would have startled you, but you just have a great evening.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care.
You too. Have a good night.
Yeah, man. So now you see and there's another one further down.
I'm not sure if you guys could hear what that guy just said, but you know, being at a place like this in the middle of the night, it's always terrifying when someone shows up. But you see, I did the right thing. I made myself known immediately because I'm not gonna just cower in the building and hide and pretend I don't exist, because then they'll find my truck over there and stuff. But so that guy said, I don't own the property. At first I was worried it was gonna be a cop. So that guy is using some sort of, I think, speaker on that. It sounds like he has an intercom or something to help him with speaking. But if you heard what he said, he just said he saw lights up here. He drove up here. He lives at the end of the road, and he was bringing his nephew up here to take a little look at it, and he just started his engine back up, so it sounds like he's gonna leave. He said he doesn't care what I'm doing up here, so that's good news. I guess we'll keep the lights down. I didn't realize how far you can probably see these bright lights we got up here in the clouds. Everyone can probably see me up here. But he said that he told his nephew that he'd bring him up here, take a look. There might be some hoodlums camping, because I guess this is a very common thing, but he said he'll be back in the daytime. He just said, be careful, don't fall. And then I could hear him say, hey, you see him up there? Look how high that is. So that was good. I'm not gonna waste my big light in case I need it again, but that's why it's good to have a spotlight when you go to places like this, a flashlight that's capable of signaling very well. Now I'm just using my dim headlamp up here, but yeah, that was scary at first because I was thinking, who could this be? Could this be someone up to no good? Could this be someone in the middle of the night coming up here to steal stuff? Because it happens sometimes. Or is this the police coming to kick me out? I didn't know what to expect, but nice guy. All right, in the distance, I don't know if you can see that down there. Yeah, you can see that clear as day. That was the tail light of the ATV. And you'll see that guy again way down there. And this guy's driving pretty slow with the ATV, being cautious. So that guy, if I was looking, I would have seen his headlight down there before I heard the engine. So that would have been like a 20-minute warning. But thankfully, it was someone that was nice, just bringing their nephew up, I think he said. They spent a bit of time down there too. So I think they went to that building with the oil leak for a little bit, because it's been like 20 minutes since he was here. Then they went down there for a bit. Yeah, but hopefully we don't get any more visitors. So the guy said on his way in, he was bringing his nephew here to take a look at this place. He'll come back in the day, he said, when it's safer. He said on the way in, he could see my lights from the road. I doubt he meant his house, because the beginning of this road's in the woods. That's impossible. He must have meant driving in here on this road. He saw my big lights, because I was walking around. I've been spending, honestly, the last hour just pacing, walking around up here. It's nice. It's enjoyable. I just love looking off on the horizon at all the lights, all the stars. But I do need to walk around with a headlamp for my own safety, because there's holes everywhere. All right, time for a midnight snack. I'm gonna fill this up with water. I brought more than enough water, so we can afford to waste a little bit of it. I'm gonna heat the MREs up in this. This meal didn't even come with a heater. You're supposed to eat it cold, but I would like a little something warm on this chilly night. I'm actually not cold, just my fingertips a little bit. So let's turn the gas on. Aha! That wasn't the knob. I was turning the wrong side. There we go. On a high setting, I don't think the wind will blow it out. That'll be warm, just give it 10 minutes. The wind actually subsided a lot. Not as windy as it was a few hours ago. We got ladybugs coming in here. They're attracted to my light. Does anyone have that problem at their house, where the ladybugs just come in when the weather starts getting cold? I had one year, it was so bad, I thought the cat was digging in my houseplants. There was just thousands of dead ones in the windows. Haven't had that insanely, but this year is worse than last year. Last year I only had a few hundred. I already got a few hundred, and it didn't even start getting cold out yet. So, what do we got here to warm up? Chicken chunks. All right, that'll warm it up. It's officially October. Midnight right now. These are the protein shakes I buy. These things are awesome when you are too lazy to have breakfast, or someone that just won't have breakfast because you can't take the time out of your day. That's how I am many times. I just won't sit down to have breakfast. But I'm bored now, so it's eating time. I'm gonna have this right now, this fruit punch. So just open it up. You can pour water in there, mix it around, or better yet, I'm gonna put it in my bottle. All right, I got most of it. Put that on, give it a shake. Almost mixed in, not quite. Yummy. And it'll only get sweeter because it's been shaking this for a while. Just doesn't want to fully mix. All right, we almost got it. Now this MRE thing here, this is going to be my garbage can. Chocolate tends to keep me up, so I'm not going to have the chocolate bar. I'm also not going to have, does it come with coffee? No, it does not. But look, we have another, look, cranberry grape. We can put that in a water bottle too. It's got gum to clean your teeth. And I'll do that. Gum will pull any stuck food out of your teeth. That's why they always include it in military meals. Barbecue sauce, cheese spread. Ooh, actually the cheese spread, I'm gonna go put that in the burner. Warm that up too. I'm gonna have the beef stick too. Look at this. Teriyaki beef stick. Sounds yummy. Feels like a dog treat. Yeah, that's yummy. See, plastic doesn't last very long, but these aluminum coated bags will last decades. That's why they put it in this. Barbecue corn nuggets. Ooh, look what's inside. See? Barbecue corn nuggets. Oh, delicious. Save this for the morning. I'll just throw it back there. I gotta organize everything before morning. The tortillas, which we're gonna wrap that stuff in, make some, be like little tacos. All right, everyone. That water is plenty warm. Yep, that's hot enough to burn you. That's definitely enough to cook up the rest of this. Hot. Probably too hot, but that's all right. Move it around in there, make sure it's evenly warm. Yeah, that's good. Cheese is nice and heated up too. That's good. I'm gonna use that water right there. It's really hot now, but once it cools down, I'm gonna wash my hands, wash my face off a little bit. Perfect. This right here will cool down, dry off. In the morning, we can't just get out of here at the crack of dawn. Plus, I'm probably not gonna go to bed until like 2 or 3. So who knows, I might sleep until 10 in the morning if it's comfortable up here. And that being said, this is covered in morning dew. Look at that. I really want it to dry up. I'm being quiet because I hear noises. It's just metal blowing around. But before you roll up your tent, you want the dew to all go away. Although I do intend on washing this at my house because we're sitting in a kind of a muddy area. There's a lot of mud up here. But now, let's see what we got. All right, let's see what we got here. Got cheese. Got this. Just want to dry off the package a little bit. So push it away from the end that you're going to open it so you don't make a huge mess. Try to move it out of there so you're not like cutting through food. And see, it has multiple spots you can cut it to. Don't know why they do that. My hands are slippery, unfortunately. It's okay. Where is it? I brought scissors somewhere. Don't remember why I brought them, but I've got scissors. Okay. Oh, chicken on me. Get off me. So this is actually just chicken. I don't know why I expected some kind of sauce, but we got the barbecue sauce and stuff to put on. Oh, I regret that. Oh, it's getting all over. There's a lot of juice in it. It's like tuna fish kind of thing. It's chicken, but you know what I mean. It's stinky, like cat food. I don't want that in my bed. All right, this is the way to do it without the juices. Just shake. Come on out. Good enough. Hopefully we don't have more company. I hear noises in the distance. Ah, slippery hands, come on. I can't open anything. A garbage can right here. cheese. Look at that. Cheese spread. Some barbecue sauce. That's all I want. Alright, it's gonna be messy. That's why I made a little cloth here, which has already come in handy. Try not to make a mess. Delicious. I'm so glad I heated this up. A lot more chicken in there. I don't want the juices. I'm just gonna pour those outside. No animal's gonna get up on this roof, so it don't matter. We have the protection of this building. I don't think anything like a bear is gonna come up here. Plain chicken. Not the best angle to be doing this. Still got a bunch. I'm starting to get exhausted. Nice warm water. Feels good on my hands. Someone was playing with a BB gun up here. There's a couple dozen little BBs up here. Look at that. Just splashing a little water on your sweaty face makes you feel nice and refreshed. I can be super dirty, but if my face is greasy, I feel real bad. But if my face is clean, I feel very pleasant. Just containing all my garbage, making sure it doesn't blow away. Alright. We're good as far as that. We'll just dump that. Alright, and this will probably get blow dried overnight, honestly. Alright. Gotta dry off and start getting ready. Getting pretty sleepy. I gotta make my bed. Alright, everyone. I've been having a lot of fun here. It's about 2 in the morning. I'm gonna finally try to sleep now. Not that tired. See, it's getting a little windy again. I just noticed something. This is kind of cool. Look at my bear spray. Look at the trigger right there. Watch this, watch this. It's glow in the dark, the trigger of the bear spray, so you can find it in the middle of the night. That is so cool. I didn't know that. I never knew that before tonight. I'm about to put my earplugs in, so hopefully no one comes here. No one's gonna hurt me in my sleep. Plus, look what I got out the door. I have pot and cooktop. I got shoes. I got my tripod. I have a bunch of things here that says there's someone sleeping here, so I don't think anyone would bother me. You can't see it on camera, but over in this direction, there's a little bit of light pollution far in the distance, and I was just peeking out here for a while without any lights, just letting my eyes adjust. And when your eyes adjust enough, you realize there's hundreds of little lights out there. There's a lot of houses around here, like, that you don't notice unless you look really carefully. It's just like when you look at the stars in the sky. The longer you look at the sky, the more stars you're gonna see. And good night, everyone. This place is kind of tight. I still have to close the door, but it's comfy. It's a one-person tent. There's just no room in here for a tripod or anything to film myself sleeping. Like, I sometimes time-lapse it. You know, it would be a time-lapse of this flipping around in high speed, but we don't really need to do that. We don't really need to see the sun coming up around me as I sleep tonight. There's just nowhere to put the tripod in here. This is the smallest tent I've ever used in my life. But see you in the morning. Good night. Look at this. It's 6 in the morning. The sunrise is starting to look beautiful. Wow. I haven't been able to sleep well because it's the wind, not the noise. But this thing's literally flapping around and tapping me. But the wind is starting to lighten up a lot, so I'm gonna really try to get some sleep now. It's looking beautiful out. The wind is getting better right now. There's no way we dropped down in the forecast like they said we were gonna. Absolutely not. It's fairly warm out early in the morning. Is that all valley fog? Yeah, it's all fog down there, pooling in the valleys. Everything up here is wet, very wet. Good morning, everyone. Hey, way over there on the horizon line. Remember last night I thought there was maybe a airport or windmills? Well, it looks to, yeah, windmills way over there. We have better visibility today. In the other direction, the visibility seems worse today. Alright, it's time to have something to eat for breakfast. Try to get some energy. I've definitely had these in MREs before. They're really good. It's really chocolatey. Alright, everyone. It's really eerie right now, the way the wind is. Up here, it's pretty still, but in the distance, you can't really tell the wind apart from an engine at this moment. What I mean by that is the wind, how it's blowing, is making rumbling noises. It's been doing that for the past half hour. Well, I just had this. That was the grape packet from the MRE meal. So we used about everything the MRE meal had now. And I'm gonna have some protein shakes. I brought the right amount of water up here, honestly. We wasted one of the water bottles to wash up and heat up food, but we just used it up. This is the last water bottle. Got a bunch of protein shakes, so I brought just the right amount up here, honestly. So that worked out perfectly. And I didn't remove this blanket last night, and I forgot what was underneath it. Underneath this blanket is... How about I show you? Let's remove this. I gotta put everything in here back together anyways. We gotta organize and take everything apart. More protein shakes. I brought fruit. I brought applesauce. I brought flavored applesauce. Why'd I buy so much applesauce? Well, it just turns out at Walmart it was like 50% off, so I bought a bunch of that. Oh, come on, piss bottle. Why are you still in there? All right, everyone. It's just before 10 o'clock. I got everything cleaned up. I'm not as tired as I thought I'd be. So I didn't really go to sleep until around 2:30 early this morning, and then I woke up around 6:30, showed you guys the sunset, went back to bed for like 2 hours. But honestly, in that amount of time, I don't think I slept for more than a couple of hours. I laid there for a while, and resting is better than nothing at all. Even if you're not completely asleep, if you're just resting yourself, it sure does also help a lot. I'm creating a big shadow over there. I hear hawks or something making screeching noises. But I am a little bit tired, that being said. The wind up here is not bad, although it was a bit challenging rolling that tent up. Even though I didn't roll it up neatly, I can't believe I got it to fit in the bag. That was actually really nice. I'm gonna have to unravel that again when I get home. It's a bit dirty. I should probably run it through the washing machine. It's a bit muddy here, and that's stuck to the tent as I was rolling it up. There was really no way to roll it up without getting a bunch of debris stuck to it, because I'm not wanting to stand over on that wood over there. The only spot that I wouldn't have picked up dirt and debris. But we're a lot lighter going down. We're 6 water bottles, 3 protein shakes lighter than yesterday. Got a little bit of liquids there left. I have a bunch more to drink in the car. I brought a bunch of unnecessaries. You saw all the applesauce, which I ate none of. I brought a saw. Second blanket was a good idea to have up here, but there is no way last night got down to about 36 or 38 like they said we were gonna. No way. I'd say last night didn't get below 50, 10 degrees Celsius. I don't think it got that cold. I wasn't shivering at all. One blanket was enough. But the wind in such a small tent, it's hard to avoid the walls. And as the wind was blowing, it kept tapping me. That was the thing. It wasn't the noise. I had earplugs. It was just kind of tapping me every time the wind would blow hard. All right, everyone. I think I can get everything down in one trip, but I gotta do 2 trips right now just to the bottom of the ladder. So this right here, I'm gonna try to bring down first. Just let myself get on the ladder. Oh my gosh, there's so much morning dew on that. Whew. At least it's not mud. Alright, I'm gonna put my backpack on. I think I can manage to get it through this time. Last night on my way up, I was looking at that footage and I was like, oh my gosh, if I could have got it to fit in this little amount of space. All right. This is not going to be easy if I can't fit down with it on. 60 pounds of weight. It's still pretty heavy on my back. I just got to make sure I can fit through this hole. I think we're going to make it. Very tight. Come on. All right, we're making it. But you see now, I can't go back up the way it just went. All right, we got it. We got it. All right, I got all my garbage from last night in that MRE bag in my pack. Now I just got this, which I'm gonna go ahead and throw in this sack. Now I can carry everything down in one trip. I'll be back to the truck in like 5 minutes. We just gotta go down like 7 flights of stairs now. You see, it's not that difficult to take out your garbage with you. But none of these, what looks like hundreds of other campers, bother to take anything. All right, we're off. Just spent a lot of time up there walking around last night, this morning. I love camping at spots like this that have a long line of sight. It's very interesting to me, honestly. It's, to a sense, very apocalyptic, how you gotta keep a lookout on your perimeters throughout the night. It's very quiet. You know if a vehicle or something is coming. But at the same time, these buildings are eerie. They make weird noises all the time. The wind makes whistling sounds. It makes muffled rumbling sounds too that actually sound like engines. But when you hear an actual engine, you know it immediately. Just like the ATV last night. You know, being on top of these buildings is like 10 times as scary when you're a little tired, just because of the drop. All right, everything's back in the truck. Walking up this place wasn't that bad. The stairs weren't bad. The only thing is that little hatch with the big backpack. And I'm now noticing right here, see, somebody has this rope coming all the way down. Probably could have borrowed that to hoist everything. Although, that rope's kind of thin. I don't know if I'd trust that with all my pack, but I'm sure that's why that's there. Hoisting up lots of stuff, firewood and whatnot. So I'm gonna go for a little walk now. Get my body running real nice. Gonna have some caffeine. Then we'll get on the road again. What do you think we're looking at right here? It doesn't look dented enough to have been thrown off the roof, but I could be wrong. Right here, this retaining wall is kind of falling apart. I'm guessing this was all septic. There's a pad right there. Maybe had a generator sitting on it. There was a chain link fence. It doesn't look like this ever had a roof over it. It looks like just their little septic area. Right there, what am I seeing right here? Are those exhaust pipes or air intakes? Down here, there's really no wind at all. It's incredibly peaceful walking around the grounds. It is still considerably early. I don't think we'll see anyone here again today. Right here's all the nails I parked in last year. It looks like somebody actually may have picked up a good amount of them, a local or someone. You see all the pavement's darker there? That's not an oil stain. Someone had a campfire there which heated up the asphalt, turning it black, making it kind of look new. And it looks like somebody didn't bring a saw up here, but they wanted to cut some trees for their campfire. See these trees? Someone just tied their truck to it and just ripped the whole tree out of the ground. Someone will probably beat them to it before it dries out enough to burn. This place does have a lot of good campsites. Look at this pan with this long rope on it to the lid. That must have been being hoisted somewhere at some point. See right here, There's a whole couple dozen trees cut down, used as firewood. Imagine how awesome this place would be if, say, the government sold it before it was in disrepair. Because this place, you can tell, the doors and windows were welded shut with rebar, sheet metal, but someone came in, cut all that stuff, vandalized it, severely robbed the place. But they may have had plans on using it again someday, but that would have been cool if they would have sold it when it was in good condition. Because just imagine what this place could have become. Like that place we just camped. That place is still structural. Imagine if some renovations were done to that, made it into a nice lookout deck. It's already got an auto road in good shape going up the mountain. That would be a good just tower for tourists to come see. Or if it was ever to be sold to a private person, imagine how cool of a house that would have been. These round buildings. That would have been cool. Because the hardest part is already done, making the road and clear cutting everything up here. Now here was another building at some point. All that's left is foundation remnants. Just walking down here because I'm sure somebody was having a good camp. I drove here last year. This was a building at one point. You see the foundations. You can see the bolts sticking up where the walls would have been attached to it. Yep, of course there's a fire pit. Pretty secluded. There's even these areas for wire runs going around. Yeah, those wire runs, they're just completely filled in with weeds and stuff. Just another building full of wires and computers. There's another big old tank right here. I'm walking down this road where it starts going back down the other side of the mountain. I took the truck down here a bit deeper last year, but it pretty much goes to a dead end. But I want to take it on foot. Look at this. Look at the whole other lane of the road, just covered with moss. But you can tell where things aren't growing very well, where the pavement still is. Well, it was a 2-lane road at one point. You see a lot more things when you're walking on foot than if you're driving a vehicle. Just like you see a lot more things if you're riding a bicycle. Just going slower makes you pay attention to detail more. Alright, the pavement's ended, so that being said, I don't think there's any more buildings down here. I'm not sure why the road goes here. To me, it looks like at one point there may have been 2 roads coming up here. This is a beautiful trail. All I can smell is pine. The trees smell awesome. When trees are healthy, they produce excess sap. It drips all over themselves. It smells amazing. That's how they protect themselves from bugs. The bugs are likely to get stuck in it. There actually is still pavement here. It's just very eroded. I see pieces of it. Here's where I turned around last year. That wasn't a lot of space to turn around in either. You can barely stick the nose of the truck in there. But up here, we've got something. What is this? An old radio tower. Looks like it's come crashing back down to earth. Look at this. Got a whole abandoned radio tower that fell down. And the ATVs appear to have made a way around. You see this? I don't mind hiking for a little bit. It'll wake me up. Looking down, there's no human tracks in the mud since it rained nearly a week ago. Right here, there's a trail. Was at least. Look at these cables. Most of these radio towers like this are only hung up by 3 or 4 cables. You go ahead and cut 1 or 2 of them, it comes crashing down. I wouldn't be surprised if vandalism brought this to the ground, since everything seems to be nice and galvanized. And of course, everything in the electrical box has basically been stolen. If it wasn't for someone knocking down that radio tower, I bet this road would still be passable to a vehicle. This looks like it's gonna go for a while. I'm all in for it. Here was a really good spot to turn around. You can tell at one point the moss is now taking it over. I think we've come to a dead end. This is a concrete pad. There was another building out here at one point. Little fire pit, shooting barrel. Looks like some electrical box. What's down here is a bunch of trails. Looks like a bunch of campsites. Ooh. We have coyote and is that moose tracks? Let's look at more of it. Yeah, moose tracks. There's been moose up here. See, all the campers have been trimming a lot of these trees for branches. Oh, look at that. Big pile of moose poop right there. There's mountain moose here. There's some nice birds here too. There's trails all over the place, but by the looks of it, none of them are human. I think all these little trails here are the moose walking around. Cause just look, big pile of moose poop, more. It's a good amount of the stuff, look at it. Wow, pretty fresh piles too. There's tracks everywhere, hoof marks in the moss. Look at that. Pretty fresh moose tracks. I see more piles of poop up there. Very active moose area. This would be a prime area to put a trail camera with all these heavily traveled trails, but I would expect that to get stolen out here, so we'll just stick to leaving them in the woods of Maine. Not a place that has tourists going to it nearly every day. Ooh, you can see the towers from here. I often get comments on my channel. More moose poop. I can't believe I didn't realize that there's actual piles of it all over the road here. I get comments all the time. Will bear spray work on moose? Will it work on other things like coyotes? Yeah, it's basically super strong pepper spray. It's gonna work on anything, basically. It's gonna bother its nose, it'll burn its eyes. Any kind of animal or human it gets used on, it's going to severely bother them. In fact, sometimes it even kills the bear. The spray is so strong, it makes it so the bear just can't breathe. So that stuff is extremely strong. But if it's windy, you gotta be very mindful of spraying that stuff. They work on all kinds of animals. But I feel like since we don't have brown bears, which are the most aggressive, I feel like it's unlikely I would ever actually have to use this stuff unless I somehow got between mama bear and a cub. Looking around now on the way back, looking at all the twisted metal, still trying to figure out where the bottom of it is. It looks like this is the bottom. It's somehow toppled in so many different directions. Surprised no one stole this stuff. There's some good stuff there. Not that hard to unbolt it. That makes some kind of cool tree stand. What we got here? Is that a hubcap? Looks like someone just blasted a hole in the middle of it. That looks pretty perfect, so I thought it was something it's probably not. Now that I'm being a little bit more mindful of the moose, 100% they're walking around, even up here around all the buildings. I see tracks in the mud here. A couple more minutes, I'm gonna be back to the truck, so we're gonna wrap it up. We explored everything here, even more than last time. When this place closed, you see the metal over the doors. See right here, the elevator. You got a door welded over it. A whole bunch of reinforcements welded over it. But yet someone still broke through it. This place was at one point very secured. But now everything's just being slowly stolen. And just in 1 year, the amount of things that have gone missing is amazing. And if you look at people's videos of the place 10 years ago, this was a totally different place. Look at all that morning dew. Let the car heat up for a minute. All right, here we go. We're out of here. Oop, the brakes are squeaky. They're covered in that fog. And that's right, I keep a cowbell on the back of the truck. At least in my head, I think it works on these bumpy roads for keeping things like deer out of the road when they hear it coming. I can't hear it at all from the inside. Cowbell underneath the back of the truck. Back down. Now this is a long, steep hill, so we gotta be downshifting using low gear. Everyone, it only took 8 minutes to get down here. I've never seen my engine take so long to heat up. I've never gone down such a big hill with a cold engine. It just didn't heat up because I'm not touching the gas really. Right, here we are down at the bottom. We're about to drive through that flood again. Ooh, here we go. Look at the water, you can see it trickling a lot too. We'll get out in a moment. I want to take a look at the beaver dam. This beaver pond's getting deep. Someday this won't be passable. Right, here we got a steep one to go up. Get up over that sharp asphalt. Oh, oh. No hesitation. Alright, let's park here for a minute and go take a look. Alright, let's have ourselves a look. Yeah, my tire marks also got erased, just like I was showing yesterday. Someone, I don't think, stopped. I think just splashed and covered it up, because it covered mine up too. You know, honestly, I even thought about camping inside this thing at one point. That would keep heat pretty well. You don't smell oil or anything in it anymore. Look at the size of this beaver dam, getting pretty big. Beaver's got to learn, you got to make your dam there. Not here. People are going to keep driving through it and destroying it. Look how shiny that culvert is. Good amount of people have been driving over it. This is a big pipe. I don't know if you can tell from above, but that's like a 6 or 8 foot pipe. Thing's huge. Very active beavers. Here's the other end of the culvert. Can you see now how big it is? That is a massive pipe. Look at that. It's got multiple feet of water in it too. Back when they made culverts to last, thing's really thick. It's not even rusting out. Oh, it's a garbage bag. At first I was like, is that a bear down there? I love driving through obstacles like that. That's so much fun. Oh, oh, look what's in the road. Do you see that? It was a grouse bird. Those things have a knack for getting run over. It just walks out in front of you. All right, here we are back to the base camp. Vehicles. Oh, spoke too soon. There's someone else down here exploring. The fall colors are looking beautiful. We're just about to get out of here now. Another 5 miles or so down Radar Road. The road's about to get really bad again up here. This hill is very eroded. Yeah, this is the bad section. You can't hear the cowbell at all if the windows are shut. Well, I hope today's video was interesting, everybody. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Alright, so I'm trying a different way out than the way I came in. So the way I came in is an active logging road. This road I'm on right now is a horribly paved road. It has so many potholes, it's just falling apart. This is the road the base used to use to get in here. Now, this is in horrible condition. It still has a guardrail, but it looks like on Google Maps this comes out into town, so I'm trying this other road this time just to try a different way. This looks like it's about to come back into town, but I just wanted to say I'm using a different road to get out than I came in through yesterday. It's paved, so it looks like at one point they had a paved road going all the way in there, and a lot of it doesn't even look like it's paved anymore. It's just so eroded from damage in certain areas. It's interesting to see. Are you kidding me? We've now reached the public road and I don't think it's locked. Yes, I don't think it's locked. I think I can get my butt out there and open that. I don't know if I was supposed to be here. It says no trespassing on the other side of that gate, but I'm gonna go ahead and shut it, and well, there was no trespassing sign in the other direction, and I came in through a way that wasn't gated. Now I'm gonna go shut that. Well, that gate is kinda, I don't know why it doesn't say anything in the other direction, but I guess that's someone else's property, but I didn't know. I already went through it. I gotta be a little more easy. When I got out, I can smell my brakes slightly burning. I've been going downhill for a long time. So this is also called Radar Road, just like the one we came in on. This is the original section of Radar Road. This is where the military used to drive in on. But one more mile, it looks like we're back to a main road. It's probably a dirt road, but it's more main. We got more blockades here that say no trespassing, keep out. They have so many aggressive signs right there. There must be 6 of them right there on those sawhorses and on the poles, but yet not one in the other direction on wherever the other side of that guy's property is. That is dumb.